This week's episode of PleasantKenobi Plays Magic and makes crude jokes about genitalia is brought to you by the letter M. M is for moons, mono red, and misanthropy. Because sometimes people just aren't deserving of your love and affection. Hello boys and girls, I am Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. I'm often said to be the magic content creating equivalent of Willy Wonka on a really bad day.
You lose! Good day, sir!
Welcome to my chocolate factory. Make sure you don't drink the water. This week I bring you a blast from Legacy's past in the form of Dragon Stompy, also known as Mono Red Stompy, all in red, big red, and my opponent doesn't get to play much Magic Red. Not to be confused with modern Stompy decks, but the name has been reappropriated for aggro decks playing a bunch of big green creatures for the most part. Long-time fans of the channel will know I absolutely love Death and Taxes, which is part prison deck, part aggro deck, and part control deck. Stompy isn't messing around with any other archetypes, however. Stompy is a prison deck in the purest sense of the word. Once upon a time, Stompy was the de facto go-to prison deck in the format. In recent years, Stompy and its colourless sister Mud have fallen into obscurity due to the rise of everyone's favourite Lovecraftian-inspired extra-dimensional space monsters. I don't want to get into the topic too much, but some might say mistakes were made. The plan is to play a game-breaking lock piece as early as possible. These take the form of Blood Moon, Trinisphere, and Chalice of the Void. Legacy is a format obsessed with mana efficiency, so turning off 1 mana spells with Chalice or making everyone pay 3 mana for their cantrips, counter spells, and otherwise free spells really makes the dynamic of the game different. It will often force opponents to play on an axis they aren't comfortable with, or simply not allow them to play Magic at all. In order to play these as fast as possible, the deck essentially plays 17 mana sources, 19 lands, 8 of which are soul lands that generate 2 mana apiece, whilst the rest of the mana is provided by Crone Moxes, sometimes Petals, and also Simian Spirit Guides, also known as the Mana Monkey or Mana Kong. As you might have noticed, this fast mana often comes at the cost of card disadvantage. Essentially, Stompy trades card advantage for raw, unadulterated power. Once a soft or even a hard lock is applied to the board, it looks to resolve one game-ending super threat that will kill the opponent very, very quickly. Traditionally, these were dragons like Rakdos Pit Dragon and later things like Thunderbreak Regent, but the deck has evolved and changed over time, and we are now playing 3 mana threats in the form of things like Rabblemaster and Sin Prodder, which can close out games very easily on their own and can also be played off 2 lands within a deck. Sin Prodder also provides card advantage if the opponent doesn't know what they're doing. Picking them up are planeswalkers like Chandra and Koth, and the pervert herself, Hazoret. Ensnaring Bridge rounds out the list, which allows us to put on the brakes of Delver, True Name Nemesis, and creatures carrying Swords of Fire and Ice if the game has gone long. A massive shout out and thank you as always to the guys over at MTGO Traders for sponsoring me and supplying me with the cards to be able to make this video. The deck list is in the description below, so you can click through for a closer look over on their site, or even look to pick up some cards. Don't forget, if you use the discount code of GGGetWrecked for 8% off on PayPal orders, as it supports my channel and helps me to keep putting out content like this. Ultimately, this list was compounded with a bit of googling of 5.0 lists recently. Is it refined? No, not at all. After our first league, I put the deck through 2 more leagues with different sideboard plans. Basically because this sideboard is really, really bad, but more on that later. Only one more question truly remains. Do you believe in life after the lock? Oh, and the keen-eared among you may have noticed that I haven't sworn at all during this intro. This is because I've promised to clean up my image, you see. I said to my critics that I wouldn't say fuck for at least 6 whole... Oh, shit. It is our second ever game of Stompy on MTGO, and quite importantly, we have won the dice roll. Going first and deploying a back-breaking lock piece will often just straight up win you the game. We are almost a combo deck in the sense that Force of Will on turn 1 can be brutal, otherwise we can just win out of nowhere. We keep a hand that allows us to turn 1 a Chalice on 1 and leads up with a Rabble or Blood Moon on legs. There is a risk in this hand as playing a 3-drop on turn 2 means losing our soul land, which means a Daze or Force could leave us stranded without a threat. Chalice resolves. Our opponent leads with a tropical island at no turn 1 play. My head is filled with lusty dreams of stranded Delvers, Deathrite Shamans and Brainstorms in our opponent's hand. Unlucky! We float the colourless mana and play a mountain and then cast Magus the Moon, to which our opponent concedes. GG, get wrecked! Being on the draw is significantly worse for us, as we keep a hand that can't do anything on turn 1 in the hope that we draw a fast mana like a Simian Spirit Guide or a Mox at the top. Our opponent leads with a turn 1 Delver. We draw a soul land and we are now hugely behind with no way to play anything and a weak hand. This should not have been a keep in hindsight. Live and learn. Our opponent casts a Brainstorm in his upkeep in order to flip his fugitive wizard in a mono blue death machine mode and ponders, probably digging for some counter magic. Lo and behold, our Blood Moon man is dazed. Wrecked. Our opponent main phases a brainstorm and cracks a fetch, essentially trying to turn me a weak hand into absolute gas, no doubt. Fucking brainstorm. A second delver lands and we get hit again. The clock is very, very real at this point. We need a Chandra or preferably a volcanic fallout off the top. Our Blood Moon gets dazed again and our chance for 1 resolves. It all feels a little bit too late though. We still need to draw and play one of those 4 copies of volcanic fallout that we sided in. He untaps, wastelands our soul land and goes into slap my bitch up mode. We draw a Chandra too late, sadness is placed onto the stack, and we pray for it to be dazed out of the kindness of our opponent's heart, but it resolves. 1 salty tear of mana is still floating on our mana pool. Like this video if you cry every time. We concede, even Fallout can't save us now as it hits us for 2 as well on the next turn, which would kill us. On the play, we keep 1 Trinisphere. We aren't monkeying around here and go for it off of a Tomb and Spirit. We are met with Force of Will, exiling a Ponder. Lame! He leads with everyone's favourite 1-mana Planeswalker. Cool joke that everyone always makes. It's not tired at all. Our first ensnaring bridge is also counterspell with Daze. Our opponent him to talk the dinosaur hunters us, which pitches the last bit of gas we had into our yard. Our top decks better be good here. The problem with the prison deck like this is that it comes with some top decks that are like powerful, like the Walkers and the Rabblmasters, which are amazing, but on the other side you've got 20 odd pieces of mana which are really low impact when you're trying to top deck some gas. There is so much hot air. Chalice isn't bad here as it will lock him out from casting almost his entire deck. A few turns go by of Deathrite Shaman shocking us over and over and over, and we draw lands over and over and over again. We cast Manakong as a beater and our opponent begins to fire off 1-drop spells into our Chalice to fuel his Deathrite Shaman as a clock. We draw everyone's 3rd favourite hothead. Never forget Jaya. And never forget Grimmy. And blow up that bloody Deathrite Shaman. He fires off a brainstorm to that Chalice 1 more time and then shocks us with the Deathrite Shaman before it dies. We go ape, smashing in with Manakong. He plays nothing, just how we like it. We uptick Chandra, finding another land and shocking him. We then slam another Chandra. If he has a counter magic here, we still have a Chandra, but it doesn't. We uptick Chandra again and shock him again and he concedes. GG, monkey.
Hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we're monkeying around. We're too busy singing.
So we keep a turn 1 Chalice or Trinisphere hand and have our opponent resolve a Delver. Our Chalice on 1 resolves. His Delver blind flips because of course it fucking does, and we get slapped. Play a mountain, sack our city and attempt to resolve Trinisphere and it gets forced. Keeping hands that do this against blue decks is probably not correct and something we should learn from. We get slapped again and he misses a land drop, which makes our 2nd Trinisphere very, very good. However, I failed to notice that I should have played the Mox prior to casting Trinisphere, as I'm new to the deck and mistakes will be made. He hits land number 2 and slaps us again. We take a turn off to play a Mox because I'm a silly Billy. Not a 3rd land from him, which is very good. We untap and we Chandra that fucking bug. He misses another land drop and continues to play very, very little magic. We untap, make mana off of Chandra, make a Koth, make a Rabblemaster, and make a mountain into a temporary 4/4. This is what I believe millennials are calling living the dream, which is smacking upside the head for 5 damage. He plays no 3rd land. We untap, make a Blood Moon just because, and then we crash in for 10. He concedes. He leads an island and dazes our turn 1 Chalice. We attempt to cast Trinisphere and he managed to force it, then bolt our face. Fuck off. We resolve a useless Magus who gets Chain Lightning next turn. We then resolve a Blood Moon the next turn and wish we had better cards on our sideboard to be able to board out these useless pieces of junk in this matchup. He resolves True Name Nemesis, which our Spy in hand can actually race if we have any kind of artifact to deploy. We also realise that damage-based sweepers appear to be very, very bad against True Name Nemesis draws. We couldn't draw them against our multi-delver draw earlier, but of course we draw 2 of the fucking things against True Name Nemesis because Magic hates us. We continue to do very, very little and get beaten the shit out of. I really wish we had a Batterskull on the sideboard that we could draw into here to help us stabilise against the steady clock. We cast an 8 because why not? We get hit and then draw a bloody ensnaring bridge too late. It could have kept us in the game if we cast vanilla 3/2 3 turns ago and it doesn't have any counter magic. Oops. On the play, we keep a solid hand and a turn 1 Trinisphere resolves and we feel pretty happy about life. We resolve a Chalice on 1 as Trinisphere locks away his counter magic. We draw a 4th uncastable card as opposed to any of our 3 mana threats or 24 mana producing cards left in the deck. Great stuff. He also misses a land drop, which feels good and puts us on a bit of a more even playing field. We draw in Staring Bridge, which whilst not the best draw, at least we can resolve it. He misses a land drop again, and then we miss a land or threat drop again. He finally hits a 3rd land in spite of only playing approximately 17 mana sources. Magic is punishing me for playing a fun police deck, perhaps. He smashed to smithereens our Chalice, suggesting his hand is chock full of fucking 1-drops. We draw a threat. Rabble, rabble, rabble. We get in for 1. He spends his turn chain lightning the Rabblemaster away. We draw our sideboard Surgical. This was with the intention of perhaps exiling all Delvers or Dazers once one of them was in the bin. However, I did not realise the absolute nombo with Trinisphere. It would also cost us 4 life here thanks to the Ancient Tomb, and my hand is basically absolute fucking garbage without another mountain. The 17 land Delver deck on the other side of the board somehow hits its 4th mana source before we do with our 28 mana source deck. He gets Swifty with a Swifty, and we get Swifted. We finally draw a Chrome Mox on turn 1,000,000. It looks like it might be too late to the party as it costs us 3 fucking mana through the Trinisphere. This wouldn't have been such a problem if we'd found the fucking card 5 turns ago. We keep the Gobbo back on blocking duty now. He considers tapping out for something but doesn't, suggests that he has Force or Daze for me, and we block the Gobbo man. We have no choice but to go for it, and we cast Chandra and get forced. He then kills us with a Swift Spear and a Bolt. I'm not really that salty about that matchup because I don't feel that there's literally anything I could have done in that 3rd game other than perhaps not signing in the Surgical Extraction. We just got a little bit unlucky, and that happens in Magic. We mulligan a no action hand into a hand with only Spirit Guides and not enough to get off to the races, and then mull to 5. We keep this. 1 bit of mana and we get to play cards, although our chances of winning are pretty slim. Magic is a harsh mistress today. We scry Mountain to the top, not ideal for a fast start, but we can't bottom that, not realistically anyway. Our opponent plays nothing and discards a Golgari Grave Troll. Pretty sure we're dead at this point. Dredge is a very difficult matchup game 1, but let's try our best. Worst case scenario, we just need to empty our hand and play a bridge. Pretty sure manaless Dredge can't beat that game 1 unless they have the Flare the Hatebound in their list. We float mana, play a mountain, lose a land and cast a Rabblemaster. It's time to rabble as hard as possible, perhaps to rabble harder than we've ever rabbled before. He dredges, hits Cabal Therapy and Dread Return, but more importantly doesn't see any recurring creatures or bridges from below. That is pretty unfortunate, but we are due some of Lady Luck's Warm Embrace at some point today, so we'll take it. We draw a mountain and we rabble on. He dredges off the troll again, fails to find any creatures that ATB this turn, and then probes us in order to dredge again. Again, no Narcomoeba, no Amalgams, meaning he has no blockers for his turn. We see Icarids, which could create a load of zombies if he manages to hit bridge from below in his next dredge step. We hit a 3rd land and play a 2nd Rabblemaster. My penis becomes engorged as blood flows into it due to the sheer volume of little gobbos coming out. We crash in for 10. He untaps, triggers 2 Icarids, dredges and hits 0 bridges from below. He concedes and he just won't be able to block anything next turn, let alone enough to stay alive. Get rabbity wrecked, son! So we have 4 sideboard ley lines with a single copy of Surgical 2 to hedge our bets against this matchup. We move into 5, find the ley line, turn 0 the ley line, as it enters play, our opponent concedes. We did turn 1 Chalice on 1, turn 2 Trinisphere and turn 3 Ensnaring Bridge. Turn 3, our opponent plays a 3 mana Baleful Strix. We summon out a Chandra and blow up the Strix. He untaps and he him to talk the Dinosaur Hunters us. We then slam a Magus to the mountain, as our Chandra still allows us to cast bigger spells once our Soul Land becomes a mountain. Magus gives us a regular, steady beta to finish out the game. Our opponent has 2 basics, so the Magus isn't actually that great here, and he manages to cast Painful Truce for 3. However, we untap, slam a Rabble, and our opponent concedes. GG, get locked, scrub. Opponent leads with a turn 2 Deathlight Shaman, which makes our Blood Moon effects considerably worse. Our hand is slow, so we lead with a mountain and let him have another turn unrestricted to have some magical funds. He brainstorms and then he hits a land drop and turns his Deathlight Shaman sideways into the red zone. Absolute mad lad, top banter mate. Our first Rebel gets forced. Whilst I place it onto the stack, I actually clench very tightly into 5 big territory because I didn't lead with the Chrome Mox first, which levels open to a daze if he's playing them. I'm playing loose like Lucy the Loose Goosey. He hits a land drop and hits us for 1 more damage with Deathlight Shaman because reasons? We slam Chandra and we flame slash that fucking DRS away. He then proceeds to cast absolutely nothing. We untap and make a Trinisphere. His response is to make a Snapcaster Mage and cast a Brainstorm. Snappy threatens to kill our Planeswalker today, but we have to say, not today, old friend. We take up Chandra and make a Rabblemaster. The 1/1 gets into our opponent's face, but the Rabblemaster is ready to lay down his life for his flame-through waifu. Snappy and Rabble trade, rest in rip, in peace, in rest. My Rabbling man, we hardly knew you. Him to Toro Dinosaur Hunters us again, and our hand is gone. We draw a Chalice, which is kind of useless at this point, and we uptick Chandra, and we find the god of perversion herself, Hazoret. We cast her, and thanks to the Turok, we can now swing freely. Our opponent concedes under our godly might.
Godlike.
I am looking to 5 and attempt to find a turn 1 lock piece, and we resolve Mox into Blood Moon. Our opponent appears to be a fan, which is pretty cool. His Tomb of the Petals suggests to me that he is show and tell, but I can't be certain. This could be the Prison Mirror for all I know. We draw a 3-mana threat instead of the 3rd mana source. Our opponent cracks his Petal, exiles 2 Simian Spirit Guides, casts Through the Breach, and puts Gristlebrand, Grizzy B, the big ol' Black Demon Daddy, into play. Hello darkness, you old cunt. He draws 7. Hits me for 7, gains 7, draws 7, and in an end step he discards all his shitty lock pieces that doesn't do anything, like Blood Moon. Well, this is awkward. We monkey out on Ensnaring Bridge in the vain hope that it will keep his big fatties at bay. He's seething songs out a sneak attack, and we play a Chalice on 1 to empty our hand, although I don't think it does much in this matchup. He sneaks out a Grizzy Bee and Iron Step for mana efficiency and draws 7 more cards. That's 21 cards! He discards a Rhyme Worm and end step, and passes to us. We cast a Sin Prodder, which could make short work of his 6 life total. However, he sneaks an Inferno Titan into play, which makes short work of our Sin Prodder and end step. He plays his own Mana Monkey that still can't get through the bridge. We play a Rabble and get Sneak Inferno Titan again. This is the power of drawing 21 cards, boys and girls, in a combo deck. It gives you all the gas, all the answers. We continue to hit land drops and mana sources while he's seething songs out of Chalice for 3, which turns off 75% of our win conditions. What kind of a fucking bastard plays Chalice of the Void in his deck? Prick. We play a 3-drop into the Chalice, which gets countered, but it keeps our hand empty as possible because of Ensnaring Bridge. We need a Planeswalker badly. We finally find Koth. His armor will easily win us the game. He starts to tick up, however, another Sneaked Titan pings him down on end step. Opponent untaps, Fiery Confidences our bridge away, and then crashes in for the kill with a Monkey, a Titan, and a hulking green worm. GG Sneaky. We keep an immensely slow hand and cast a Trinisphere that probably doesn't do a whole lot here. I'm not really familiar with the matchups, I'm not really sure what cards are best against Mono Red Sneak. He then seething songs into the Breach, into a big ass fucking worm. This means we are just fucked. No Ratchet Bomb from the side, a later addition to the deck, doesn't even give us an out here. The problem is that Trinisphere even means that we can't fire off Surgical in order to top deck an Ensnaring Bridge to keep us in the game against these 5/5 worms. The non-bio is very, very real. The other thing is that the damage done by the Ancient Tomb plus the Surgical means that even without Trinisphere, we couldn't have cast it because our mana base has hurt us too much. To add insult to real injury, we even draw the fucking bridge, which could have kept us in the game if it was perhaps in place of the Trinisphere. Guess we've learned today that against Sneak Attack, you need an Ensnaring Bridge ASAP. GG Wormy. Deck is super fun and a very different way to attack the Legacy metagame. Some of those games were actually hilarious to play with a friend on Skype. I think Chalice and Trinisphere decks are very well positioned in the current metagame against all the onslaughts of Delver and Grixis Delver being like, you know, the darling of the format at the moment. The sideboard and main deck threat composition needs some work, as we saw that Volcanic Fallout would have blown out Elves, D&T and Delver in places if drawn at the right time, but we just drew it in the wrong places against fucking True Name Nemesis. Any input, thoughts or ideas about the deck or the video or what you want to see on the channel next, just hit me up below. Have you played Stompy or a Prison deck before? Do you enjoy them? Do you hate them? Do you want to kiss me softly upon my beardy chinny chin chin? Just let me know in the comment section below. Drop the video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and even better yet, share the video with your friends, family and loved ones, because sharing and linking back to me really supports the channel and me to keep making this content. Deck list and link in the bio below, linking to MTGO traders in the description, so don't forget the discount code if you want to buy some cards over there, because that supports the channel. If you want to directly show me some love and support me, click the link to my Patreon on the screen now. I'll be back next week with some more Sinless and Magic gameplay for you all. In the meantime, if you're feeling down or upset with life, remember, every pearl started off as a piece of dirt. So always wipe your bottom properly, lest your arsehole get infected with killer pearls and you die in a horrible jewel-induced death.